The 1980s wasn't just a decade, it was a musical revolution. From dance pop to rock anthems, this era produced some of the most iconic artists ever. These legends not only topped the charts, but shaped the music we love today. Let's turn up the volume and dive into the best musicians of the 80s, and see where they are today. Number 1. Journey. Journey started as a backing band set up to provide instrumentals for established bands. However, over time, members practiced jazz fusion and became artists. This forced the band to venture into pop rock full-time. But then, it was not all roses. They underwent various changes before their biggest commercial success in 1981. The changes included replacing their drummer and vocalist. Their 1981 album Escape hosted singles like Who's Crying Now, Open Arms, and of course the very famous Don't Stop Believin'. All 3 songs reached the top 10. They matched the energy with Frontiers, released in 1983. This album had 4 top 40 hits and 1 top 10. Journey won the hearts of millions of fans from across the world. They earned a fortune from tours and became one of the highest earning bands in the world. Journey capitalized on this by releasing an arcade game using their images. It was indeed a journey for Journey. Soon after their commercial success, some members left to pursue a solo career. After a 3-year break, they hired new members to keep them going. Even though they didn't make much money after the comeback, they earned a fortune from previous albums. Journey now features founder Neil Schon, who is the lead guitarist, and Arnel Pineda, who has been the lead vocalist since 2007. Number 2. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was exposed to the music industry at just 21 years old thanks to her mother Cissy Houston and cousin Dionne Warwick. However, Clive Davis, the head of Arista Records, brought her to the limelight. Davis helped her pick the best songs that appealed to a broader audience and sharpened her skills. Today, Whitney Houston is one of the biggest selling music artists in the world, selling over 170 million singles, videos, and albums. Her sleek voice influenced modern artists like Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, Aretha Franklin, and many more. Whitney was a musical sensation in the 1980s. This decade was the most successful of her career. She released 2 studio albums and sold over 45 million units. Whitney's breakthrough happened in February 1985 when she released You Give Good Love. The single reached number 3 in the US and topped the R&B charts. The song brought her into the limelight and set the tone for her future success. It introduced Whitney Houston's powerful voice to the world. Saving All My Love also reached number 1 on both sides of the Atlantic. Sadly, she passed away on February 11, 2012, from what reports say was an accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use listed as contributing factors. Number 3. Madonna. Madonna made waves with her debut album, Madonna. This hit introduced the world to a new kind of pop star. The album had infectious tracks showing off Madonna's incredible vocal style. Even more exciting was that her vocals resonated with audiences worldwide. Songs like La Isla Bonita and Holiday were anthems of the era. They combined post-disco rhythms with a strong pop appeal. Madonna released her Like a Virgin album in 1984 with provocative lyrics and a catchy melody. This album was a masterclass in pop production. It featured hits like Into the Groove and Material Girl. 2 years later, she released True Blue, an album that delved into personal and complex themes. It was dedicated to Sean Penn, her ex-husband. Madonna released Like a Prayer in 1989, which was filled with controversial imagery. Think of a woman being murdered by white supremacists, burning crosses, and Madonna kissing a black saint. Religious groups were not happy, and Pepsi, who Madonna was a spokeswoman for at the time, dropped her from their ads. Madonna was undoubtedly one of the bravest music stars of the time due to her rebellious image, controversial actions, and songs with provoking lyrics and messages. In 2023, Madonna suffered a life-threatening bacteria infection, which sent her to the hospital. Thankfully, she has since recovered and wishes to tour again in 2025. Number 4. Wham and George Michael.
Wake me up before you go, don't leave me.
George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley formed Wham in 1981. They landed a record deal with the Intervision label shortly after it was set up. Wham had its first hit in 1982 with Young Guns. Michael, the lead vocalist, wrote the hit. As if this wasn't enough success within a short time, the band's debut album, Fantastic, topped number 1 in Britain. The following year, they released the Make It Big album, which recorded huge commercial success. It reached number 1 in the US. Michael and Ridgeley quickly became teenage idols. Michael stood out for obvious reasons. He was believed to be the most gifted member of the band. His soulful voice helped their ballad Careless Whisper become a pop classic, which is still loved today. Michael wrote most of Wham's songs. By 1985, Wham made history as the first Western pop band to tour China. At this point, Michael believed he could start his solo career. Later that year, Michael won the prestigious Ivor Novello Award for songwriting. At 21, he was the youngest songwriter to receive this award. Wham decided to disband in 1986 because George Michael was ready to go solo. Unfortunately, at the young age of 53, he died of heart disease on Christmas Day in 2016 at his home in Goring-on-Thames, Oxfordshire, England. Number 5. a-ha, Take On Me. If you were born in the 60s and 70s, you know the legendary Norwegian pop group a-ha. Even if you don't, you've heard their biggest hit, Take On Me, at least once. a-ha peaked in the 1980s with lead singer Morten Harket still recognized in Norwegian music today. The name a-ha happened after Harket stumbled on the word in a notebook. Unknown to him, his partner Paul Waaktaar Savoy wrote a song with the title. The pair loved it and made it official. Fast forward to the band producing one of the most iconic animated music videos ever. Take On Me was not the first animated music video, however, it is one of the most iconic. It is one of the few music videos in history to reach 1 billion views on YouTube. And guess what? MTV nominated a-ha for 11 awards in 1986, of which they won 8. It was like predicting their future success. After 9 albums and over 35 million albums sold, a-ha split up in 2010. Number 6. Duran Duran. Childhood friends Nick Rhodes and John Taylor formed Duran Duran with Stephen Duffy in 1978. Drummer Roger Taylor, Simon Le Bon, and Andy Taylor joined a few months later. They teamed up to release their debut single, Planet Earth, in 1981. This song became a hit for the band and peaked at number 12 on the UK singles chart. Other singles from the Duran Duran album also competed favorably. Critics said their career was premature and they could fade out soon. Were they right? Duran Duran proved naysayers wrong when their third single, Girls on Film, hit number 5 on the UK charts. While preparing for their second album, fans were worried. Most people believed that surpassing the first album's success was nearly impossible. But guess what? Duran Duran did it with ease. Their second album, Rio, released in 1982, was a massive hit. It had more than 4 hit singles. The songs Rio and The Reflex made the 80s fun and made this band so famous. Unfortunately, the pressure of fame was too much that they took a break in 1985. They resumed 1 year later without Roger Taylor or Andy Taylor, but they weren't able to duplicate their success from their album Rio. Number 7. Tina Turner. Tina Turner started singing as a teenager after moving to St. Louis, Missouri. There, she met Ike Turner at his band's performance, and soon she became part of the act. She performed as a young and vibrant Tina Turner. Her electric stage performance made her the center of attraction. Unfortunately, Ike and Tina did not earn as much recording success. Things changed in 1960 when their single, A Fool in Love, topped the charts. A series of successful singles followed this. It was all fun and games until Tina divorced Ike in 1978 after years of infidelity and physical abuse. Tina moved on with her life almost immediately. After several guest appearances on albums, she released her debut album, Private Dancer, in 1984. She sold over 20 million copies worldwide and won 3 Grammy Awards. And that's not all. She won the Record of the Year and Best Female Vocal Performance for What's Love Got to Do With It. The single became her signature song. Tina Turner followed up her success in the 1980s with a role in the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome movie and her Break Every Rule album in 1986. Tina Turner died peacefully on May 24, 2023. Number 8. Rick Astley. Rick Astley was born and raised in Newton-le-Willows, UK, where his love for music started early. As a kid, he joined the local church choir, and by 16, he was working by day and performing by night. Soon, Rick's band FBI became a hit at the local scene. When their lead singer left, Rick stepped up and took the spotlight. That move changed everything. Pete Waterman spotted Rick's talent and offered him a solo deal. And that's when his career skyrocketed. In 1987, Rick released the iconic track Never Gonna Give You Up, which became a global sensation. The single stayed at number 1 on the UK charts for 5 weeks and topped the US Billboard charts in 1988. It didn't stop there. It became the year's best-selling single. and even won a Brit Award for the Best British Single. Fast forward to July 2023, the song was certified 2 times platinum in the UK. Rick followed up with another smash hit, Together Forever, in 1988, which reached number 2 in the UK and number 1 in the US. Though he's not as big as he was back in the day, Rick found a new kind of fame in 2007 with the viral Rickroll meme, where his Never Gonna Give You Up video started popping up in the most unexpected places. Talk about a comeback. Number 9. Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper released her debut album, She's So Unusual, in 1983 and became a pop sensation overnight. Although Cyndi was famous in the 80s, her hit songs are still enjoyed today. She's praised for her creativity, passion, and powerful voice. The she-bop singer released 11 studio albums and 7 compilation albums. To top it all off, she sold around 50 million albums worldwide. Her most popular songs are Time After Time and Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. It's no surprise that Cyndi Lauper has won many awards, including a Grammy, the MTV Music Video Award for the Best Female Video, the Billboard Music Awards for the Top Female Artist, and ASCAP Pop Music Award for the Most Performed Song, and dozens of nominations. Cyndi Lauper was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2015, and nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2023. Number 10. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a shy kid until he stepped on the stage. Luckily, his father noticed he was a good singer and dancer, so he helped set up the Jackson 5 group. The group lasted from the 1960s to the 1970s. It was after they split that Michael rose to stardom. He released his first solo album, Off the Wall, in 1979. It became the best-selling album of the year, with hits like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You. Michael Jackson then released 2 groundbreaking albums in the 1980s. Thriller in 1982 and Bad in 1987. These albums made a huge impact on pop music, hair, fashion, and dance. Thriller is still the best-selling album of all time, which has sold over 120 million copies today. Even after the 1980s, Michael Jackson made waves, earning him the exalted title of King of Pop. He broke countless records like winning 8 Grammys in one night, 3 American Music Awards, 16 Guinness World Records, 24 American Music Awards, and so many more. Sadly, Michael Jackson died of cardiac arrest, which was caused by an overdose of propofol, on June 25, 2009 in Los Angeles, California. Which 1980s musicians do you miss the most? Let us know in the comments.